The night everything finally broke came without a warning. Ella returned from the market a little later than usual, her feet swollen. She heard unfamiliar laughter drifting from inside the house, a woman's laughter. She stood frozen for a moment in the compound. Ivy stood beside her, listening to sounds that did not belong in her home. Slowly, she pushed open the front door. Emmanuel sat on the parlor sofa with a woman Ella had never seen before, a bottle of beer in his hand, completely unbothered by his wife and daughter standing in the doorway.
Emmanuel, what is the meaning of all this? So this is what you do anytime I'm not around, Abby. Who is this in our house?
He looked up slowly, his eyes glassy from drink, and instead of shame, instead of the guilt she might have expected from any other man, his face twisted into something closer to irritation, as though she were the one intruding on his evening.
Madam Parfait, please watch your mouth. This is Blessing, my friend. Why are you standing there looking at me like that? Go and prepare food for your husband and his guests.
Emmanuel, what is wrong with you? This is my house too. I cannot cook for you to entertain another woman inside the same room where my daughter sleeps.
The woman on the sofa laughed softly, covering her mouth as though Ella had said something genuinely amusing, and something inside Ella's chest finally cracked wide open.
Get out. If you cannot respect your husband's guest in his own house, then get out.
Get out to where, Emmanuel? It's already dark outside and it's about to rain.
Emmanuel suddenly stood up to his feet, his voice hardening into something dangerous. He didn't wait for her to finish. He grabbed her arm hard enough to bruise and dragged her toward the front door.
Emmanuel, please, why are you behaving like this? At least let Evie stay inside. She has done nothing wrong to you.
No, I want my privacy tonight. Since you can't keep your mouth shut, both of you, out!
He roared, shoving her through the doorway. Above them, the sky, which had been threatening rain all evening, finally broke open completely, cold water pouring down in heavy sheets within seconds.
Since you cannot respect me in this house again, I will show you my true color. You and your daughter will stay outside today. And don't come back inside until I say so.
Emmanuel shouted before slamming the door shut behind him. A moment later, the lock clicked audibly into place, and through the window, his laughter drifted back out into the rain, mixing carelessly with Blessing's voice, as though the wife and child shivering outside in the storm had already been completely forgotten. Ella sat there on the wet ground for a long moment, rain soaking instantly through her clothes, mixing with tears she no longer had the strength to hold back. Ivy pressed herself against her mother's side, shivering violently, her teeth chattering in the cold night air.
Mommy, why did Daddy lock us outside? Why does he hate us so much?
Please, help me. The voice was soft, almost swallowed by the sound of rain still dripping from the roof edges. Ella lifted her head slowly. At first, she thought it was her imagination. The compound was quiet now, too quiet, the kind of silence that comes after something terrible has already happened. Evie had cried herself to sleep beside her, her head resting on Ella's lap, under the small veranda that barely protected them from the rain. "Mommy, I'm cold," Evie had whispered earlier, before sleep finally took her. Ella pulled her closer, rubbing her arms gently. "Sleep, my baby. Mommy is here." But now, that voice again. "Please, help me." Ella's heart began to pound. Carefully, she turned her head toward the open space of the compound. At first, she saw nothing, only shadows. Then, something moved. A figure, standing just beyond the weak glow of the compound light, was an old woman. Ella froze. The woman looked wrong. Her wrapper was tied loosely around her thin waist, her shoulders hunched, her face lined with deep wrinkles. But it was her eyes that made Ella's chest tighten. Sharp, knowing eyes that seemed to see straight through her pain.
Who are you? I have been watching you, Ella. watching your suffering, watching how that man has turned your life into hell. If you came here to mock me, please leave me alone. I have nothing left.
No, I'm not here to mock you. I came here because you are ready.
I don't understand. Ready for what?
Ready to end your suffering.
Ella's breath caught. For a moment, the only sound between them was the soft drip of water and Ivy's quiet breathing.
I don't understand.
That man will never change. You know this already. He will drink your sweat, destroy your child's future, and one day he will kill you.
What do you want me to do?
The old woman reached into the folds of her wrapper and brought out a small black cloth tied tightly and pressed it into Ella's trembling palm. End it. Ella stared at the cloth, her fingers shaking. I can't. You can, the woman cut in sharply. For your daughter, for your life. Ella looked down at Ivy, sleeping helplessly against her. Something inside her shifted, slowly, dangerously.
What is this?
A charm. When the moment comes, you will rub this on his body. It will finish what needs to be finished.
And it will make sure nothing traces back to your hands. After that, what remains of him will give your business the power it has been missing.
That is all you need to.
Wait, how do I even use... No, wait!
But when she looked up, the space in front of her was empty. The old woman was gone, vanished as completely and silently as she had first appeared, leaving no footprints in the soaked earth, no sound of retreating steps, nothing but the charm sitting cold and heavy in Ella's open palm. Ella's breath came in short bursts as she looked around wildly. She stared at it for a long time, her mind refusing to fully accept what had just been placed in her hands. And for the first time that night, a dark, dangerous thought entered her mind, and it did not leave.